welcome everybody. Today I thought I'd get on and give you a financial updated reading for the 17th of July. Now, if you are new to my channel, I have tons of videos on self-help, on anxieties, fears, depression, any subjects, like so many subjects, even attraction and body language, if you're interested in any of those. So I'll just close my eyes and we'll just get started and see what comes up for the finances. It's showing me people at gambling tables, like for example in Las Vegas, or they're at the like blackjack table or the roulette table, and they're gathering up their winnings. So people are like pulling in all their little chips and they're pulling them in towards them, and there's piles and piles of them. And this is the people like us and the people waking up. People are trying to protect their money. They're like, it's almost like they're cashing in. So people are cashing in. It's like when you have that big win at the casino, for example, you get all your chips together and you go and you cash them in and you leave, because that's how you get ahead. Now, this is what I'm getting for people at the moment. This could be to do with their housing. It could be to do with their super. It could be to do with, for example, being made redundant. People are cashing in. So they're making the most of a bad situation. So I'm definitely getting that. People are trying to also, the image there is that they're trying to gain control of their money and their own wealth. And that's probably a good thing when we know what government wants to do with everybody's money and wealth. I'll see where else we go on the finances. It's interesting, isn't it? Because it's showing me that people are afraid, but they're not afraid. And this is financially. So there's things that are making them afraid, such as the interest rates going up and the cost of living's going up. But then they're not afraid because, sadly, people still, not all, still trust in government. And they honestly believe that government has this way of balancing out the budget. Meaning that, yes, we had the pandemic. So some people are fooled thinking that we do have to pay for the things from the pandemic, like the jabs and all this PCR equipment, and there's been all these expenses. So naturally, things are going to go up. So there's also this kind of imbalance around the finances. And we know people shouldn't trust in government, but sadly people do. They think they've got the budgeting all sort of in order and that these things are kind of going to be temporary. But as you and I know, these things are not temporary. These things are coming at them like a bull and about to knock them over, and probably squash a lot of them, I would say, financially. I'll see where else we go. A lot of financial systems are going to be collapsing. See, we could have, again, this is what could happen, the same thing that happened in Canada when they started touching bank accounts. People withdrew their money, and then that's when you get this collapse in the sort of banking systems. So I'm feeling that could happen a lot too. People are getting wiser to these money problems and scenarios that are sort of playing out. So they're starting to withdraw and they're hiding away their cash. Like I've said here, people are investing in gold and silver because that's more concrete. It could even be that people are trying to get hold of their superannuation, because I think people can see that there's going to be a lot of this dodgy, what would you say, taking of the slush funds, people's slush funds, it's kind of saying, that they feel they're worried that they're going to get touched because government is in control of a lot of these things, and it feels like people are a little scared that government's going to touch their money that they've worked for all their lives. And this is why people are waking up. And we know what's going on, but the people waking up are just starting to get a glimpse of, hang on a minute, other countries have done that. They've touched money. You know, these things come out. It's like I say, when the truths come out, they pop and then they're out. Yes, they can try and hide them, but they still slip out somewhere and they vibrate into people's experiences when they start worrying about their money and talking about their super. What comes into their YouTube feed or these kind of things? Information about what's happening and what the current energies are and what's happening globally with people's bank accounts, and why is it not good to have super and why you better control your own money. This is what's going on. People are waking up. They're waking up. because they're financially scared of how they're ever going to retire. We just had here in Australia, and I know it is where you guys are, they just talked about bringing back elderly people into the workforce. And they're talking about people over 75, like people in their 70s and over 75. Like, I can't even remember things now at my age. I'm in my 50s. And seriously, I'm sure some of you guys are at the same age out there because we always talk about our 80s music. I know not all of you are. I'm just saying as an example. But this is what I'm getting. And look, we only have to look at Joe Biden. If you're in America, Zach, I know you're over there. You see it firsthand. It's scary. He doesn't even know what day it is or what's going on. How's that going to work in someone's business if they're trying to run an efficient business and people are forgetting things and they can't lift things because they've got a bad back? There's going to be more problems with compensation, workers' comp and all these things. This is a complicated thing moving forward that people are seeing. The ideas that they're coming out with are the most stupid and ridiculous ideas. And another example of this financially is look how they sack people in the airlines now, and they're just putting anyone on willy-nilly who hasn't got experience in baggage handling. We talked about that the other day. Probably paying them minimal wages, don't even doubt it. And now everyone's taking carry-on baggage, and it's all becoming very confusing. No one's taking big bags. I'm flying somewhere soon, and I'm thinking, no, I'll just condense it into a hand luggage because I don't want my bags to go missing like everybody else's has been. So these are those dilemmas. They're probably putting older people on there as well. And how are they going to lift 20 kilo bags, luggage bags? This is the stuff. People are waking up because none of this makes sense. And these are the financial ridiculous scenarios and things that they're putting out on the news in front of our faces. And this is where our finances are headed. It's all becoming minimal wages, but they're giving people pay rises as well, which means small business, as we know, will go under because they can't afford it. So this is the financial dramas that are sort of starting to unfold and become visibly obvious for people now. I'm just having a rant there as well. But that's a huge financial issue moving forward that people are starting to see, because finances is a big one that is waking people up. I'll just see where else we go. And like the message for you guys watching my channel is like, don't stand still. We don't have to stand still and freeze. Like, we don't have to do that. We don't have to think, oh God, let's just contain everything we've got. We can still grow and evolve, and we can still set target goals. We can still save money. We may not want to save it in the bank. We might want to be a bit smarter with how we go about doing these things. Investing is going to be a thing I feel there's going to have a lot of question marks around it too, like investing in land and houses. I feel like the taxes and the systems are going to change a lot around these things. Once upon a time, it was really viable for people to buy rental properties and you'd get all your capital gains tax and all this sort of stuff. And now there's all these different rules and regulations, and I just feel there's going to be a lot of changes around that. So they might not be the best investments. And that's, of course, going to allow all these big corporations and like BlackRock, Vanguard. China already owns a lot of Australia, and God, every other island they seem to be invested in. So, you know, it's not going to be viable for small people anymore to make money out of these kind of investments. I'll just see what else we get, but I'm definitely seeing that as going to become a bit of a challenge around any of this, like a real estate, industrial estates. It's like the little people are going to be taken, or we knew that was going to happen, out of that market. I'll just see what else we get. People's brains are fried around the finances. Now, even for us, and I know we knew it was coming, most of you on my channel, you might be new here and you're just realising what's coming, but this is overwhelming people. This is really overwhelming people to the point of collapsing. People, I talked about it the other day, are feeling sick, they're feeling nauseous, they're feeling extremely worried about where their future is headed. They worry for their kids and where their future is headed. because they're not seeing a brighter future. See, people were thinking like with all this pandemic response and things like this, that financially we could all create a better future, and they make it sound, as we know here on my channel, with their quotes of the reset, they make this sound so much more positive moving forward, like especially with the renewables, that you're going to save all this money on your electricity and the world will be better off, and financially we're just moving leaps and bounds. And like I said on the news the other day, someone said you put solar panels on your roof and you've got no other costs. What a lie. That is such a lie. There is no way government will let you just be completely off grid in a house or a unit. They're not going to do that. They're going to take from you. We know government takes from you. You would have to be living out in the bush in a caravan with your solar panels on the roof to be completely off grid. I know some of you are working at that. Chris, you're working at that out there and doing a good job, I think. But this is what I'm getting. They make it sound wonderful, but now people are seeing that, hang on, maybe there is some red tape and there is some catches to these quote phrases that they're putting out. Like, are you doing your bit to help the environment? Do you want to save pennies? You know, these are the quotes they're going to start putting on their wonderful posters or TV ads or Facebook ads. And this is about the finances. You know, you're going to be in the best position to save money. Well, no, you're not, because we all know here that you're not going to be in the best position to save money, because we're all going to be the ones working and slaving our guts out to make the wealthy and these elites rich as all buggery, and they're going to live a different life. Just like in Sri Lanka, the poor people weren't eating, getting food, and all these elites were living the zillion-dollar lifestyle, over-the-top opulence. And that highlighted a lot to a lot of people, and that's why a lot of people are waking up financially. I'll see if there's anything more to finish off with today. And they're showing me, the guides are showing me, this is for you watching my channel, don't get drawn into this sort of financial narrative and the power grab and the push. They're showing me like a trail of notes. So they're showing me like the greenback in America, or like the notes here, the paper notes. I think it was George Washington on your American one, wasn't it? But it doesn't matter where you're living, they're just showing me the paper notes. And it's like this path of paper notes, and it's kind of leading to the government. That's a surprise, isn't it? All the money leading to the government. And they're saying to us not to get on this paper trail. But I think we're smart enough not to do that and not get sucked into these schemes. We could call it the pyramid Ponzi scheme that I always talk about, but they're showing me like these stepping stones of paper notes, and it always leads back to government. It doesn't matter from what angle they're coming from, whether they come from the housing market, whether they're coming from the jab vaccine rollout market. Like, it doesn't matter what avenue it's coming from. All these stepping stones of notes lead back to government, and we've got to make sure that we stay off those stepping stones. They're actually showing me like when you were a kid and you'd be walking along down the street and you would do anything not to step on the cracks, because if you stood on the cracks of the cement, you were out. I don't know if you guys ever played this. Girls did this a lot. A lot of us used to do this as kids, and that's what they're showing me. We have to step in between the notes, because that's how we protect ourselves. We stay off the stupid money, the money plans that they're rolling out. And that's what they're showing me, that we're clever enough that we don't step onto the like notes that lead to government. We've got the smarts, so we are like the people who we step on, like we don't step on the cracks, and the cracks being the money. We step in between. So we step in between each stepping stone, and that's how we protect ourselves. I know that's a little strange analogy today, but I know that you guys can relate to that, because that's how you keep yourself safe. You stay out of the pyramid and the Ponzi scheme by not standing on the monetary paths and stepping stones that are heading towards government. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today. We have to stay very independent and strong in our own financial ideas and our own financial goals, and I guess what you know is going to be a safe measure in moving your life forward, and what's going to be best for you as individuals, that you know is going to work perhaps from your past experiences, but also creating in that new experience. Like I talked to you the other day about investing in silver and gold. That's very solid and tangible because it always holds its value. And you can hang on to it till it sort of rises again, and that's something that you can hand to your children. They're things that are tangible that you can get into your hands. So that's kind of what the guys are saying to us. Stay out of the pyramid schemes because we know there's nothing in it for us, and the Ponzi schemes because they're always dodgy. And if they say something's, it's like they say, if anything's too good to be true, it usually is. And also, if something's free, it never is. And that's one quote I've always told my daughter. She always used to say, yeah, but it's 3 months trial. It's free on some gaming site or something. I'm sure you've all been through it with your kids too. And you go, no, doll, nothing's free. There's always a catch at the end of it. So that's something, and that's the message I'm going to leave you with today. Nothing is free. Just always be aware of that when those words come up. Stay out of these dodgy schemes. But I think we're wise enough that we do. So I'm going to say goodbye from Australia. Take care, everybody. They're just some financial tips. Hopefully they help you going into August, because there's going to be a lot happening in August. Go check out my August video. I'll leave it up here, because I think financially the housing market's the one that's going to really start to really take hold in August. Thanks for watching. Hit those like buttons. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Bye from Australia. Bye, everyone.